Donald Trump is having a psychotic meltdown this morning. He's crashing in the White House. The markets are crashing right now. His poll numbers are crashing right now. Let's discuss what is going down. Donald Trump is holding a press conference right now, purportedly to honor the angel families at the White House, but all he's talking about are his crashing poll numbers. And he's saying it just amazes me why there's not enough support out there for me. Here, play this clip.
It just amazes me that there's not more support out there. It's just, we actually have a silent support. I think it's silent. I think well, that's how I won. I got probably 85 million votes. They say 78 million, 79 million. They cheated in this election too. It was just too big to rig. Too big to rig.
Then he goes and says it's all about the fake polls. These polls aren't real. They're saying that his support is only 40%. Trump says it's way higher than that. He goes, fake polls. This is what he's saying at the Angel family event. Here, play this clip.
Polls are tough, you know, when you get a fake poll. I get them today. I saw one today that I'm at 40%. 40%. I'm not at 40%. I'm at much higher than that. I mean, I'd love to run against anybody. The real polls say you kill everybody. It wouldn't even be close. But you go through the fake polls, you go through the fake stories. And I said, you know, it was good because this is really a much more powerful term than I would have had if I had run, because it was.
Then he tells the angel families that it's he, Donald Trump, who suffers, not the families, not our fallen, heroic, courageous soldiers. Donald Trump says he's the one who does the suffering right now. Here, play this clip.
But we wouldn't be here right now. I'm just thinking as we're going through it, because we've suffered through it together. I suffer for the country.
Then right before that, he was on social media making post after post, attacking the Supreme Court, saying there's going to be even more tariffs against the world, and they're going to be even higher. And he sent the stock market into an absolute crash right now. Remember when Pam Bondi was like, well, at least the Dow is at 50,000. It's not even at 49,000 right now. As of this recording, it's down over 800 points, and it keeps going lower and lower. Here's what Donald Trump posted. As president, I do not have to go back to Congress to get approval of tariffs. It has already been gotten in many forms a long time ago. They were also just reaffirmed by the ridiculous and poorly crafted Supreme Court decision. President DJT, this guy's spiraling out of control. He's saying the Supreme Court decision endorsed his ability to do more and higher tariffs against this world. Get this psychotic wannabe authoritarian out of there. Get this vile piece of trash out of there. Get this felon out of there. Get this pedo protector out of there. But he continues to make more posts. Here's what he posts again. Any country that wants to play games with the ridiculous Supreme Court decision, especially those that have ripped off the USA for years and even decades, will be met with a much higher tariff and worse than that which they just recently agreed to. Buyer beware. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. I think that's how we should view you. Buyer beware. Caveat emptor. I mean, get this pedo, get this pedo protector, get this mafioso, get him out of the freaking White House. And then he's posting videos this morning of himself as an AI hockey player. He needs to not just steal the valor of our soldiers and say he suffered. He wants to steal the valor, just like Kash Patel did, of our hockey team. So he's posting, because he keeps on losing, he needs to show he's winning. So he posts an AI photo of himself playing hockey against the Canadian team and like punching the Canadian hockey team in the face. This is an AI video he posted of himself checking and punching Canadian hockey team players in the face. As I said, this guy is despicable. But he posts, we're winning too much. It's just not fair. DJT. And here he is whining, saying it was a rigged election. This election was so rigged. Everything was rigged. Here, play this clip right here.
If that election, if it wasn't rigged, it was a rigged election by millions and millions of votes. A guy that never left his basement. It was all run by crooked people. COVID was a little bit of a shield. We had a lot of things going on. But it was rigged by millions of votes. We did great.
Okay, well, Everything is rigged, right? This is rigged. That is rigged. Everything is rigged according to Donald Trump. Here's what Harry Enton had to say this morning about Donald Trump's sinking approval. Never has it been this low amongst independents, especially in history. Here, let's play this clip right here.
Numbers, but talk about what is driving this drop for the president.
What is driving this drop? I said record was the name of the game when it came to this segment, right? Talking about the lowest Trump has ever been going into the State of the Union, the lowest that any president has been this century going into a State of the Union at this point in their presidency. It is also the weakest that Donald Trump has ever been with independents. Look at this drop. We've been talking about it the past few months. At this point, a year ago, Donald Trump was at minus 13 points. Look at this, minus 47 points among independents, the lowest Donald Trump has ever been in either of his 2 terms as president with independents. That is driving these numbers. When you're 47 points underwater with independents, that's the name of the game. You can't be above water overall. And that's why Donald Trump is near record lows overall and the lowest he's ever been going into a State of the Union address.
Quite a message on the eve of this
Yes.
big moment. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you.
John?
Those numbers with independents just eye-popping there. All right,
Let's take a look at the market right now. It's going even lower and lower. It's crashing out right now as Donald Trump's crashing out. Speaking of crashing out, as Aaron Rupert explains, Trump's brain flits wildly during this presser. He starts talking about Mamdani shoveling snow. Then he says there's a woman in the audience with bad eyes. And he says, I've given you lots of money to fix your eyes. The hell is he talking about? Play this clip.
Why would we do this? And they walk in, nobody even asked for, like, do you have an identification? Do you have an ID? It's so crazy. You know, the mayor of New York, and he's a very nice person. I met him, but his ideology is not too good. But we're having a massive snowstorm right now. And I heard that he's asked people to come out and help shovel the snow. Okay, so you get a shovel and you start shoveling, right? What the hell? You're not going to help too much, but you can help. And hello, darling, how are you? Noah, right behind you. Look, my friend, right? Are you okay? Yes, you. Are you okay? Are you okay? Good. Good. Are your eyes okay? I gave her money to get her eyes fixed. A lot of money to get her eyes fixed. That doctor ripped me off, but that's okay. And when do you go? Well, you get them done. It's an operation, but it's 100%. You know, it's great. Good. Are you going to have 20/20 vision? She's almost blind, cataracts. She's almost blind. And with one operation that'll take a very short period of time. Hope you have a good doctor.
This episode of the MeidasTouch podcast is brought to you by Wildgrain. Wildgrain is the first bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas, and everything bakes in 25 minutes or less. It feels like having a real bakery on standby whenever you want it. What I love about Wildgrain is that unlike a lot of the store-bought bread, they use simple ingredients you could actually pronounce, plus a slow fermentation process that can be easier on your belly and richer in nutrients and antioxidants. No preservatives, no shortcuts. I've tried a bunch of their items, but the sourdough breads are absolutely my favorite. Warm, crusty, and perfect straight out of the oven. It's become my go-to for easy dinners, cozy weekend brunches, or just warming things up on a cold day. I've also been loving the giant chocolate chunk cookies. And the convenience is huge. It shows up at your door, lives in your freezer, and you're eating in under 25 minutes. Wildgrain's boxes are fully customizable too. They have a variety box, a gluten-free box, a vegan box, and even a new protein box. So there's really something for everyone. There's nothing like having an artisan bakery in your freezer to chase away the winter chill. Now is the best time to stay in and enjoy comforting homemade meals with Wildgrain. I highly recommend giving Wildgrain a try. Right now, Wildgrain is offering our listeners $30 off your first box, plus free croissants for life when you go to wildgrain.com/Meidas to start your subscription today. That's $30 off your first box and free croissants for life when you visit wildgrain.com/Meidas. MEIDAS, or use that promo code Meidas at checkout.
But Donald Trump does announce that he is endorsing Byron Donalds to be the governor of Florida, which he said before. He goes, Byron will be a great governor. And then he posts this thing that Byron Donalds, the MAGA Republican Congress member, posted. A few facts about Byron Donalds and why he and MAGA are simpatico. The ex-wife of Byron Donalds, who leads the race to replace Ron DeSantis, revealed they were still married when he got his current wife pregnant. I wish I had handled the chapter differently, the congressman said. Byron Donalds' current wife, Erica, sits on the board of Moms for Liberty. And then it should be noted that his ex-wife said that Byron Donalds spoke in a fake Caribbean accent in college in order to stand out when they met. That's why he would speak with a Caribbean accent. Okay. Donald Trump then posted the following in all lowercase writing, because he's like a literally insane individual. He posts, the Supreme Court will be using lowercase letters for a while based on a complete lack of respect of the United States. Accidentally and unwittingly gave me as president of the United States far more powers and strength than I had prior to their ridiculous, dumb, and very internationally divisive ruling. For one thing, I can use licenses to do absolutely terrible things to foreign countries, especially those countries that have been ripping us off for many decades, but incomprehensibly, according to the ruling, can't charge them a license fee, but all licenses charge fees. Why can't the United States do so? You do a license to get a fee? The opinion doesn't explain that, but I know the answer. The court has also approved all other tariffs, of which there are many, and they can all be used in much more powerful and obnoxious ways with legal certainty than the tariffs initially used. Just pause there. First off, what the hell is he even saying? Like, this is literally a demented and deranged individual right here. Like this is a psychotic individual who deserves to be like literally institutionalized. And I'm not trying to, no offense, I'm not trying to, I'm just saying, like let's look at what he's actually saying. Licensing fees. And then he's saying that now he gets to charge much more obnoxious and higher tariffs? Like, what do you, that's what you determined the ruling was? That's why I said, this guy's a piece of crap. This guy's a wannabe authoritarian, right? Throw this guy in prison, impeach this idiot. I mean, this behavior is so vile and so grotesque. Anyway, let me keep on reading it. He goes, much more obnoxious. Our incompetent Supreme Court did a great job for the wrong people, and for that they should be ashamed of themselves, but not the grade three. The next thing you know, they will rule in favor of China and others who are making an absolute fortune on birthright citizenship by saying the 14th Amendment was not written to take care of the babies of slaves, which it was proven by the exact timing of its construction, filing, and ratification, which perfectly coincided with the end of the Civil War. How much better can you do than that? But this Supreme Court will find ways to come to the wrong conclusion, one that again will make China and various other nations happy and rich. Let our Supreme Court keep making decisions that are so bad and deleterious to the future of our nation. I have a job to do. Make America great again. Donald J. Trump. Okay, what the hell was that I just read? Normally I'd say I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it is so utterly insane that I just wanted to share with you what he's saying. Also this morning, the Trump-appointed sycophant Judge Eileen Cannon in Florida. Remember that federal judge who dismissed the case against Donald Trump for him stealing our national secrets and classified information and potentially nuclear secrets, because she's the only judge in the history of the country ever who said special counsels don't exist, that they're unlawful. They exist with everybody else, but you can't have a special counsel investigate Donald Trump. That was her ruling. And then it can never really go through the appeal because Trump won the election, sadly, in 2024. It goes on to say, the Trump-appointed Judge Eileen Cannon has permanently blocked the release of special counsel Jack Smith's report on classified documents, saying releasing the report would be unfair to Donald Trump and his co-defendants. It would be so unfair to him to release the special counsel's report, which every special counsel has done. And her ruling is, I declare the special counsel unlawful, so anything they prepare in a report is unlawful. Therefore, I am not going to allow special counsel Jack Smith to release volume 2. But wait a minute, didn't Donald Trump and MAGA say that they are totally innocent and they have nothing to hide, but they're working with a sycophant judge, Judge Cannon, to hide Volume 2. Isn't that interesting that the party that claims to be about transparency wants to literally hide every damn thing? How about that? And then there's this right over here. This is what it was called. This is how Judge Cannon framed her order. order on unopposed motion seeking prohibition on release of Volume 2. Unopposed motion. Well, why was it unopposed? Because the Department of Justice, which would normally want justice, is controlled by Donald Trump and has his billboard over it. And they are just in my view, a racketeering enterprise of Donald Trump's crimes and also covering up a child sex trafficking ring. So they did not oppose the motion by Donald Trump as a private citizen, and Walty Nauta and his other co-conspirators, other co-defendants, saying don't release it. And then it was unopposed by the DOJ because the DOJ, it's not the DOJ v. the bad guys. The DOJ is on the side of the bad guys in all of these cases. Hence, it's an unopposed motion. But this is how rulings look like in North Korea. This is how rulings look like in Russia. Just read this. This is what Judge Cannon says. All parties agree that authorizing the public release of Volume 2 would contravene the conclusions of this court's final dismissal order that Special Counsel Jack Smith acted without lawful appointment or funding authority in this proceeding, and that his actions taken in connection therewith are therefore invalid. All parties agree. Yes, the defendants, Donald Trump, and the people, Donald Trump, they all agree with each other. The government does. What do you know? So it's unopposed. In any event, this will now, I guess, get appealed to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Who's going to appeal it is the issue. Well, we know that there's certain special interest groups that have, or private groups, or First Amendment groups, or groups that care about law and order that are trying to intervene with the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals because none of the parties there are going to appeal it because they're on the same side, Trump and the DOJ. Anyway, we'll keep you posted every step of the way. That's what's going on this morning. I'm Ben Meiselas. Look how close we are to 6 million subscribers. Let's hit it this morning. Hit subscribe right now. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.